I'm calling from Brooklyn. This is Paul. I'm calling from Brooklyn, New York.
Paul from Brooklyn, New York. What's on your mind, Paul? From Brooklyn, New York.
So I work at a public school in Brooklyn as a tech.
Yeah.
And today was supposed to be our first day back in the school building. And at 3 p.m. yesterday, we found out we are not going in because our school is being used as a rec center, which we're supposed to close last Friday, but they got extended to this Friday. And then on top of that, we also got a report about the HVAC systems, and we can't really read them at an advanced level, but it seems like some of the rooms are not very good for teachers to be in.
Right.
So we're just kind of not really sure even what day we're going to be back in the building. So that's just kind of where we're at.
It's a huge mess. I mean, for people who are outside of New York, originally this Thursday was going to be the start of school, both remote or what they call the blended, which is like a hybrid. And that would have been 2 days, 1 week, 3 days the other week. And then they pushed that a week for the start of everybody. And then they pushed the actual hybrid another 5 days to the 21st. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
we're also finding that a lot of our students are choosing to go remote now. So there's going to be a lot of teachers who will be working in the building, but they'll be, teaching a remote classroom.
An entire remote classroom?
Yeah, it seems like it.
Well, I mean, if they're in the building and there's nobody else in the office, it's a lot safer than, it's not as safe, obviously.
Yeah, no,
if they're doing it from their
it's a
homes.
good thing. It just kind of highlights how maybe we should have stayed remote just a little longer and held out just a bit.
I mean, I personally, I've said this 100 times. I think for high school and middle school kids should have been remote from day one. You just do it, you eat it, and you try and develop a good program for kids that age, because they can sit in front of a computer and they can learn and they can do synchronized learning. In terms of the elementary school kids, if it were up to me, and I know the union looked at this, but I'm unclear why they couldn't pull it off. I would have taken every facility in the, that the DOE has control over, and I would have put elementary school kids throughout these buildings, and put them in high school classes, put them in junior high classes, and they'll have two teachers. They'll have their elementary school teacher will go into that room, and then on the days that they're not with the elementary school teacher, because these classes are smaller and so you'd need to put them in different classes, they'll have a proctor who is a high school or middle school teacher, and will be watching them. Or you hire, I don't know, teaching assistants just to help them do their remote learning. But that's not what happened. So,
but what he said about the HVAC, reports on NPR were talking about how a lot of these schools, they're not having the it's just not being installed properly.
I mean,
we also
how can people expect this to happen? These buildings are so old, and these systems are so old. To retrofit all of these buildings in 2 months is just you can't do it. It's insanity, and you cannot do it, particularly when we have no money.
Right.
I mean, the federal government could have mobilized, and it would have been, just another, a great project. You could have retrofitted these things. You could have done it in a good way. I'm sure a lot of these classrooms needed it. Schools needed it. You could have poured a ton of money in, and in just a different world, that's what would have happened. But
then Betsy DeVos couldn't buy them up and privatize them later. So,
that's right. Appreciate the call.
She could have used the government to pay.
Hang in there. I appreciate, I understand what you're going through, and my heart goes out to you. Spay F on the IM. Oregon is on fire right now. It is nearly dark from all the smoke. Yeesh. God, man. I wish I had some good news for today.
Fires, air quality,
Bueller,
everything.
Anybody? No.
Nope. On the school thing real quick, I was reading this, someone posted something on who's a teacher, and that they're spending all their energy right now preparing meals and just putting them on buses, and they're not even they're not even bringing the kids into school. They're just using the transports to deliver food to kids' homes who would get that food, those meals, by going to school. And in some cities, this is like 70% of students get their meals from, or some form of meal, a part of a
well,
meal
that's good that they
support system.
figured that out. That's a good system, I think.